So my guest operates with what I call inspirational tenacity. He is the CEO of Hive Group. And when I first met him, it was a content hub, doing some PR and some content. And a few years later, he's built it into a juggernaut and is focused on building what I think is probably going to be one of Africa's biggest insights platforms, transforming his agency into a Martech business. He operates with a really strong sense of innovation. I am super inspired by him and I'm glad to call him a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Yaw Dwomoh. How are you, my brother?
Very well, and you, Ted?
Very good, very good.
A young
Welcome to Winners Win, man.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's good to have you in the winner's seat.
Thank you for having us.
When the week ends, what is your process of unwinding?
A bit of long walks.
Okay.
I do about 10 kilometers a week over the weekend. A bit of rubbish TV.
Yeah.
And watch soccer or sports in general. I'm a big Arsenal fan.
You're an Arsenal fan?
So yeah.
You've kept the loyalty through the years?
Well, 20 years later, I'm not moving anywhere.
And sports plays a big role in how you relax and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Tell me where your sense of innovation and drive comes from. So if you're looking at your origin story, where does it all start?
Well, I mean, my name says it all.
Okay.
I'm a Ghanaian by birth. I've lived here for 31 years. I think my drive and inspiration comes from my dad was a very organized person.
Okay.
My mom was a maverick.
Right.
So
is that another way of saying someone who's not organized?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've got both of them.
Yes.
Right. And my drive and inspiration comes from them. Both of them are late. However, my desire is to succeed and set this business apart, and that is where my drive comes from.
Okay. And you realized this when? Did you go through corporate? What's that journey like?
Well, yes, I spent about 18 years in corporate.
Oh wow.
But it taught me stuff, and especially with the now defunct Edcon. Edcon was really good to me.
Okay.
However, I'm a vivid learner. I'm a continuous learner.
Yeah.
That is what drives me. I mean, I got into this sector in advertising, marketing, complete novice. I didn't study marketing, studied HR and then and masters in business, but those things don't make you smart, right?
Right.
They make you a bit inquisitive about everything. And when I chose to go into this business, I knew nothing about it, so I had to learn. And indeed, as you alluded to, it was a content factory. That is where we started. And since then, I continuously have researched, have learned, travel around the world to find out the latest trends in advertising, and that is what has brought us here.
What did you do at Edcon?
You would love this. I was in HR.
I heard you say I started HR.
Yeah, I was in HR. Yeah, I was in.
Why can't I imagine you managing pay slips unless you were a different category of HR?
No. I started working at Plus Campaigns back in the day. I was a personnel clerk, so please respect me for that. And I used to work with clock cards and things like that. So I used to handle payroll. But as I moved to Edcon, I moved into a generalist role in HR. So I handled everything. I looked after a division, and that was really good for me.
Yeah.
And I think I got my bite to go into business when I started working as the head of enterprise development then. Okay. And that was where the kick started.
Yeah. When you made the jump from corporate into the business world, was it the first and only jump, or have you made a few? So, people sometimes jump out of corporate into business, get their ass kicked. Okay, I need to run back a little bit. What's yours been like?
So I never thought of going back to corporate,
okay.
To be honest. But there were moments that I wish I had gone because the calling of a monthly on the 25th, getting a young notification on your phone always worked. And there were times that I was pretty broke. I had nothing. And I've said this to many people. I wasn't quarter broke. I wasn't half broke. I was broke. When you start counting slices of bread in your fridge, and you have a small piece of butter, I don't know the difference, margarine is the cheaper version, in your fridge, then you should know that you're in trouble. And those were the moments that I wanted to go back to corporate. But I'll tell you, Ted, my mind is wired differently. I see life as in phases. We're gonna go up, we're gonna go down. It's not gonna be linear. And even when I was going through what I was going through, which was a very difficult, very, very dark period in my life, I never thought at any second that I was gonna give up. I knew it was a phase, and I knew that one way or the other, through faith and perseverance, and that is my mantra: faith first, because God first, perseverance and patience. If you have this as your these three as your anchor, you will achieve what you have to achieve, and you have to be prepared to fail fast, fail forward, and learn quickly, and learn from your mistakes, because my previous business didn't work because I made mistakes, and I learned from those mistakes.
Which business was that?
Well, I had a small consulting business and I had a restaurant. So from the highs of corporate flashy lives to cutting carrots and
managing the distribution of butter against the available slices.
It was tricky.
It's always going to be fascinating. Practically, though, when you say these are the darkest moments of your entrepreneurial journey, how do you manage that? How do you get through? And I hear it. I hear the faith, I hear the prayer and all that. But when you're sitting there, how do you manage through, right? Are you picking up the phone? You're like, okay, I'm calling clients. I am, what's the practical thing you were doing during that time?
So let's talk about the current space.
Right.
Cognizant that I knew nothing in marketing, I started writing a story about one of the biggest influencers in this country. He knows me very well, and I'm very grateful for acceding to my request when I spoke to him. And I started writing stuff about him, about using him to as an influencer for a brand. And honestly, I had not met him before. And I knew that I used to go to a friend's office, and he used to come there, and because he was shooting a show, he was doing a reality show. So I approached the lady next door, and I said to her, "Listen, can I organize for me to speak to this guy's manager, man? I've got a solution for him. You have to be solution oriented. Right. I've got a plan for him." Well, I had a plan, but I had no money. I did not have the know-how. So how things will work is that, yes, talking about faith, I prayed about it.
Right.
I met his manager. I didn't even have a car then. Someone had given me 200 rands to go and have coffee with him. And I was praying that, and I met him around lunchtime, and all my prayer was that this dude
must not be hungry.
Must not be hungry, because if he ordered lunch, it would have been over for me, right? So we met, we spoke, and he said, "No, we actually been wanting to work with this brand, so the stars are aligned, and we will talk." And I then also approached the brand, and they came across and they said, "Yeah." And by that time, because I was so desperate, I'd written such a long thesis about this thing. So right. I get there, and client tells me, "No, I don't think this. We're just gonna give it a trial for 3 months."
Okay.
And that is where everything began. So you have to have faith, and you have to plan. You have to put, and that I work on the notion that what is the worst that would happen? You tell me no. If you say to me no, that is where perseverance comes in. I will go back to the drawing board,
Right.
and I will re-strategize and get going, and that is where it all began.
So that was the moment that kicked off Idea
Idea
Hive.
Hive, yes.
Okay. Who is the person? Can you share? You may not be able to share the client, which I understand.
So easy.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
I see.
So easy.
Okay, and that's how you started growing.
And I'm entirely grateful for him and Tato Matuka, his manager.
Right.
We chat a lot. I always tease him. He always teases me. So I'm his Chrotman. I'm old. So anyway, so we talk a lot, and the two of them probably don't know. They started the journey, and it's brought us here.
Got you. How big is the business now?
We employ 32 people directly on the payroll, outsourced. They depended on what we're doing. It could be anything from 5 to 30, 40 people.
Right.
We've done some big shoots.
Yeah.
Actually, the team was collecting data the other time. And over the 10-year period that we've been doing this, we've done 1,115 different production, from TV to storytelling pieces. We've created 9,000 different creative pieces as well. And if someone had told me that we're gonna do this when it started, I would have said, "You're smoking something nice.
Crack.
Pass some to me, and we will all be
Let
good."
me have some of that.
Yeah.
How broad? Okay, so talk me through the service offering at Idea Hive. What is the service offering?
So currently, 10 years down the line, we've got a group structure. We've got the Hive Group, and we've got Idea Hive still, which is the creative and brand communications arm. We've got Tech Hive, which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
When I start talking about it, we're not going to leave here, and I'll
we're
be in trouble
into
as
that.
I explain to you off camera. We've got Tech Hive, which it's our unique offering, and we've got Amplify Hive that does what is it? Influencer. And activations, experiential marketing as well. We think that we very soon will add another piece to it on performance marketing, the media side, to close the loop.
What's driving that expansion? Is it customer need, or you're just identifying gaps?
It's customer need and identifying gaps. The way marketing is, advertising is going, one size fits all marketing is dying a slow, painful death.
Okay.
You have to be surgical. You have to be sniper focused. You have to personalize your content to get it to the right people at the right time on the right platform. Collect data and analytics around that. Do the reporting. So it's moving away from this mass approach to marketing to really niche, personalized marketing, and that is where. So the way our model is that Tech Hive investigates, does the analysis, collects the data, does the segmentation, does the analysis. Idea Hive hits you with the content.
Okay. How do you balance? It's an interesting one, because when you started Idea Hive, you're sort of focused on storytelling.
Yes.
Now you have...
I see you remember.
Yeah. Well, now you have an insights business, which it's really something I'm excited about, because a lot of the people who've ran agencies for a really long time still do not have a tech product. And that's where the world is going, right? So how you balancing internally the art of storytelling versus the art of delivering the insights, i.e., what drives the conversion, as it were.
So we the creative and the storytelling piece will stay the way they are, but there is a twist to it. There is a twist to it in the sense that Tech Hive enables them. Tech Hive segments the consumers, the customers. It knows their devices that they're using. To a very large degree, know when they would like to receive content and on what platform, and feeds that information through to to the creative people who then create Idea Hive, who then create the content pieces and the creative work, and pass it back to Tech Hive to deploy. So that is the nature of the ecosystem.
Okay.
Right.
So the content team create the content.
Yes.
Tech Hive gives them the insights on where to find the audience, what time, etc., psychographics, etc. Where is that data coming from?
It's first party data, so it doesn't leave clients' premises.
Okay.
We have got global deals with global tech suppliers, and we negotiate on clients' behalf, get the best deal for them, and use clients' data to create that. So no data leaves client premises because of data protection laws and stuff. Yeah.
How much of the data do you own as Idea Group?
No,
or Tech Hive?
No, we don't own any data.
Okay.
No.
Is there a risk to not owning any of the data?
No, there is no risk. There is no risk at all.
I guess I'm asking because if you launched a customer campaign and the customer gave you 1,000 data points, if by the time you are done and you've now built in the performance marketing, et cetera, and you now have 10,000 data points, who owns the additional 9,000 data points?
It's the client. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the client. Remember, first and foremost, the data that they've got belongs to them. Whatever that you would have done, so you collected, consumers, customers consented, passed on the data. Remember, you're working on behalf of the client, so that becomes a client data.
Right.
You do not, you working at the behest and on behalf
of your client.
Of your client.
Okay, so you're just providing the tech solution.
Yeah. The tech, and more importantly, the people solution. The tech will do everything for you, but not the so what. And we are very big on the so what. The so what is, we've done that, the tech has given you, the AI has done the analytics, it's predicted that Ted lives in this particular area, these are his interests, and. But the tech will not do the so what for you.
Right.
The human capability that will do the so what. Okay. So the so what is then we can, based on the information, we can deduce that if we send this information to Ted, Ted will consume this data.
Okay.
And that is the sweet spot.
Okay.
The tech is an enabler, but the actual so what, the impactful piece of work to close the loop is the human capability.
Okay. The so what you're referring to, if I've understood, is the objective.
Yes.
Okay.
Is the objective, and is the ability to make head and tail of the data that would have been, and the analytics, conducting the relevant analytics on the TED as a sample of one.
Got you. How do you price the product?
Now I must tell you. So we make
in the most in the most Kwame Nkrumah way.
Yeah,
in the most diplomatic way.
Well,
maybe it wasn't so.
Through
but
people,
you understand what I'm trying to say.
through what do you call it? Service fees,
right?
Labor cost. Those are the two revenue streams.
Okay.
Got, yeah.
Okay. So time and materials, essentially. Yes. Are you looking to white label this to other agencies, or it's purely proprietary?
Yes. I mean, the future of business, we all know, is about collaboration, right? You can keep your creative business. We will plug in our data and analytics business to make you look good.
Right.
So that is an avenue that we're gonna leverage. We partnering with other agencies is the way we're gonna go.
Yeah.
We are going there. We've done some work with some agencies.
Yeah.
But the team is going to concentrate very, very hard on that.
How much work do you do on the rest of the continent?
We do work in Kenya.
Okay.
This year, funny enough, just early this week at our exco, now actually last week, Monday, the directive is that we go into the rest of the continent. We're starting with English-speaking Africa for ease of trading, obviously, from a communication point of view. And we've landed our first client in my home country of Ghana, which I'm very excited about. And obviously, we're also doing business in Kenya as well.
Okay. Why Kenya first?
Kenya was two reasons. The market maturity and proximity to South Africa is 4 hours flight.
Yes.
Versus going to Ghana and what have you. So it's the market is quite matured. I mean, we all know the power of their what is it? Their mobile money.
M-Pesa. Absolutely.
So that they collect a lot of the data, but our challenge on the continent is that we haven't learned to monetize data, and that is a story on its own, because this whole Martech piece will be enabled by monetizing and extracting value from the data, the customers' data that are there.
Even in markets like Kenya.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because you go to supermarket, you use your card or your credit card. Most of the retail outlets that we've sampled have an app. So data is being collected there. But what are we doing about that data? And they're not doing it.
They're not doing anything with it. I've noticed that those markets are still very much traditional. I haven't, and I want to get your thoughts on sort of the evolution of the space you've been operating in. How do you get people to adopt these new methods of operating or of marketing for that matter?
A lot of opinion pieces.
Okay.
A lot of show and tell.
Thought leadership space. We partnering, being completely unconventional. Okay, which sounds like me. Being completely unconventional. Right.
Going to technology conferences and seminars that typically wouldn't have been a marketing advertiser space. So those are the things, the channels that we've adopted.
If you had it your way and you could only choose the categories you like, what are some of the categories in marketing that you find super exciting? Either, on the continent generally.
When you say categories,
let me give you an example. So, how do you feel about the sports betting category?
Sports betting has got a lot of data, right? Sports betting is good. Insurance is great. The whole financial services sector.
Yeah.
So sports betting, financial services, which include insurance and banks, retail banks, I meant to say.
Yeah.
And retail, right? Retail.
Because of your Edcon thing,
maybe
you know how the engine is built.
and then believe it or not, medical, healthcare.
Oh, I see.
Very, very important.
Okay.
Because when, in South Africa, when you go to one of these, if you have one of these apps, like a scheme app, you pick your chronic medication, it gives you an option of, would you like to get any other medication?
Right.
That is, they're collecting your data. They know maybe if you purchase, for argument's sake, gastric medication for 3 times, they know they're gonna hit you. They know that for all intents and purposes, there is a certain condition with you, so they're gonna hit you up with it. I mean, I've got a condition, and there are moments that I want to get smart, and I don't take my chronic medication, and they don't tell me, they don't scare me, they don't say to me, Yaw, why are you not coming to take your medication?
Right.
They will send you an opinion piece on the impact of not following your prescription. You know?
Right.
That scares you, right? So healthcare is going to be very, very important for the continent going forward.
And you're seeing that and my next thinking is around how have you integrated AI into, one, your life personally, and then I want to hear about how you've integrated it into the business.
Well, everything that, or most of the things I do these days is enabled by, and honestly, I'm a late adopter. I never knew that I was going to go into this field, and it becomes part of my life. Recently, about 2 months ago, my daughter said to me that about 3 months actually go, just put your name into Chat GPT. So, and I was surprised what it came up, right?
Okay.
So I have adopted it. It helps me in my daily life and what have you. I don't depend on it so much. I believe that I must read and what have you. But
yes,
in terms of my own bit of research work that enables the work that where we want to move the organization into, it's been of help. From a business point of view, everything we do is now AI driven. We've got the data analytics tools, which is AI enabled, and then we've got creative efficiency tools. That is also a major game changer. Okay. So previously, you would have creatives that will sit and create work, and they will resize it, right? Now they create the work, and a tool will resize it for them.
For every platform.
As long as we've got the chase list, it will do it for them at the speed of light. What it has done, it allows the creatives to have time to do impactful work.
Right.
Like these guys didn't go to school to sit there and resize work. So one of the key things that is dying is the good old DTP person, where the guy used to sit there and then resize stuff and pass it on to the media homes and whatever. We don't do that anymore. We got a tool that does it for us at the speed of light. We've got tools that we also use to how these guys create stuff. So you got the efficiency tool, and you've got the conceptualization stuff. Actually, as you start creating key visuals and stuff, we've got a tool that does that.
Right.
We've got a tool that also enables the writers to write faster. So it's not ChatGPT, but it helps them to write faster. So you start typing, or put it in a concept, and it will start guiding you on your thoughts and whatever you.
Okay.
So that is how we go in, and if you don't adopt, so there is one on the performance piece, and there is one set of tools on efficiency.
Right.
And that is the direction advertising is going.
Okay. Well, man, that story makes me unlock 10 questions. But let me start here. How are you giving your creatives in the business comfort that the very tool they're using, and they're watching this tool improve on a day-to-day basis? I don't know if you've used the latest GPT 4.0, it is absolutely insane. How are you giving them comfort that this tool is not going to replace you in the next 6 months?
So we've got a line in the business called Big Fire Shit. Okay.
Big Fire Shit.
Shit.
Okay.
Okay. In other words, the tool is not going to conceptualize for you. The tool is not going to come with a big idea that is going to win an award for you.
Okay.
The tool is going to free you up to come up with big fire shit.
Okay.
So that you can then expand on that. And so it helps you to come up with that, because it frees you, right? It gives you time to do stuff. So to answer your question, they have the leeway to create as many things as possible without thinking that tomorrow the tool is going to take their job away from them. No. Like I alluded to earlier, it's the so what.
Right.
And if you start in a conceptualization process, God gave you brains. That is what you have to use it for. You went to school. That is what you have to use it for. And the tool is going to help you, free you time to enable you to do what you want to do and do it properly.
Okay.
And I think before, by the way, since we introduced the tools, we have won 3 awards. So that completely negates the fact that you think the tool is going to take your job away.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just made you more efficient?
Efficient.
Okay. And you think
and apply yourself more.
I hear you. You think that stays constant?
it will get better. The people will get better.
The people get better. So the output
Will be
gets better.
Yes.
Okay. In a world where you are used to charging time and materials, if you can now do work more efficiently, and I've asked a lot of the people who sat on that very chair, do you think that using AI to deliver something a lot quicker to a client and then still charging them the same price is considered as cheating?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Not at all.
Say more.
Reason is that the level. So in advertising, they used to have juniors and mids and seniors and what have you. Okay. And as a result of that, obviously their salaries and their rates of pay is different. Okay. Now you bringing in, you're allowing people to express themselves more, so you pay them more for a better output.
Right.
Okay. So this whole idea that AI is you have to charge less, AI is gonna take people's job away. Not entirely true. Okay. So if you were to take our business, we used to have a lot of people in the studio doing lesser than what we are doing now. Right? But the converse in terms of output is happening.
Okay.
So what do you want to do? You've got a bit of budget available. You spread that money across to the team, so they're also motivated. And as a result, your costing should remain consistent with the output that you're getting from the team.
Right. Because you're incentivizing the teams in a much better way.
Yes.
Okay. When you're comparing the different markets you operate in, what are some of the challenges you face in some that you don't face in others?
I think if you were to take Kenya, to a very large degree, is if you were to compare them to the South African bunch, is the skill level, right? So there is a bit of challenge there in terms of talent.
Okay.
If you were to take, but the commitment is there,
right?
The
commitment and willingness
to adopt, to learn, to improve themselves, right? Here it's a bit of the talent issue and a bit of commitment, and also sometimes opportunities here are much bigger than the other parts of the continent. So you have someone comes to you, works for about 6 months, 1 year, and uses you to move on to the next place, to springboard to the next opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. And that's where you're sort of picking up what the big challenges are.
Yeah, it's the ongoing sort of revolving door.
Okay.
So what we have done in our business is that we did something, we call it the spine. We defined the spine, and
SPIN.
Yeah. AE.
Okay.
So there's who is the head, who is here, who is here, who is here. And we have done that properly, and we look after the team properly, and we do stuff. Sometimes money is not everything, right?
For sure.
We got a Friday culture day where we jump around. We think we're exercising, but we're not exercising. We jump around. After that, we go and we drink.
Right. That was your fitness hour.
Yeah. And we do also, and we've got a whole culture team, and we've got a minister of culture. Okay. Those small little things make a lot of difference to retain the talent, because to retain talent, I don't think where the issue sometimes about retaining people, right? It's not the money issue as a retention tool, but ensuring that you've got the right people, have the right culture, and you have to be hard. Hold people we're very strong on our values.
For sure.
Accountability, honesty, integrity, transparency, flawlessness,
right,
and respect. We've dismissed people who disrespected people.
Right.
Who are top performers. We've dismissed people who are dishonest. Okay, those things are very important, and you blend that. So hold on to the values and blend that with the culture of the business, and then you have something strong going, and we believe that we have gotten it right.
That's super strong. So you've placed values above performance.
Oh yes. Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I think many years ago when I was still at Edcon, they used to force feed us Jack Welch, the late CEO of General Electric. And one of the things that stuck with me till now is attitude over competence. You can teach anyone anything if they have the right attitude. But the most competent person with a waste of attitude, you cannot.
Yeah.
And so we believe in that. And when you come there and you don't fit into the culture, and because we made a mistake recruiting you, you will see yourself out. Actually, you will stick.
You
out.
just decide
This
place is not for me.
me.
Okay. If I called Sizwe, how would he describe you as a leader?
Well, one of my ex members told me today, you are very demanding.
Okay.
And I like it that way.
Okay.
You cannot build a new organization with the ambition that we've got, being flimsy, being undecisive. So if you were to call Sizwe now, he would tell you that this dude is crazy, man.
Right.
I'm very demanding. I'm very fair. I'm very honest.
Yeah.
And I'm so sniper focused on what we want to achieve that any deviation really gets me like on the edge.
Okay. And how do you enforce that culture in other markets that you are not in full time?
It's repetitive action.
Okay.
Ongoing controls and auditing. I think Muriaki in Kenya doesn't like me sometimes, but it's also okay
Right.
because he gets it proper. Because it's having a template and checking deliverables against those particular templates. And every now and then you go in every 3-4 months. I go in there to check what is what.
Okay. Yeah. And the governance structure, etc.
We've got a shareholder who happens to be our legal advisor as well, and we've got a little board that that helps us keep things in check.
Yeah. Well, if I'm tapping into your exposure of the continent, what are some of the ideas you think we should be executing on that we are not?
We need to leverage on data.
Okay.
We need to harness our human capabilities. We don't use our talent properly.
Okay.
Because of also our culture as Africans, we don't hold people accountable. And every time you hold someone accountable, oh, you're being rude, you're being disrespectful, and as such, you set up KPIs, and you yourself as the leader don't see the KPIs through. You don't manage the KPIs.
You don't manage the KPIs.
So those are the three things, right? To me, it's holding people accountable, driven from a hard business point of view. It's about data and how do we monetize the data that we've got. When I say monetize, I don't mean we must sell the data, but ensuring that we understand you properly as Ted Koka, and that we can get you what you want at the right time, so that we relieve you of the burden of running around trying to find a solution. You've got time, you work hard, you must go spend time with your family. So how do we capitalize on that opportunity between the data and your preferences and find that niche? And more importantly, holding each other accountable. We do not.
Yeah.
From our governments to businesses, we do not hold.
How would you use your Martech system in our government?
I don't know. I think if you were to ask me in South Africa, would be to help with municipal services.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of how we bill you, how you pay, when you pay, when we think you've fallen off, because you're not paying now, right?
Yeah.
You are behind on your municipal what have you. Accounts, and more importantly, the fifth one will be how do we educate you around that, around not paying your services and what have you. So from a municipal point of view, yes, and maybe healthcare, using it to help you live a better, healthy life, taking your medication, seeing your doctor frequently and stuff like that.
I wonder if that's the first problem. When you're dealing with your municipality, do you get the sense that they see you as a customer?
Well, they call you a customer, but they don't. You are not a customer. You are just a number.
They don't treat you like
they don't. Yeah, even the message that comes in. Okay, you will, for whatever reason, you log a call that there is a pothole here. You log a call that there is the electricity has tripped and what have you, power outage in your area, and they will say, "Dear Ted, this is your reference number." All right, nowhere in that conversation are they updating you. So the counselor or whoever it is the one that is being bombarded with this information. But you could be using technology to communicate real time, like we do with clients.
Right.
That the work, don't give us the technical details. Just say 30% of the work has been done.
Okay.
40% of the work has been done. ETA is this. But we don't get
You don't experience that. I think that when you were referencing the Jack Welch thing, I gathered you're a big reader.
Yes.
What are you reading at the moment?
And my son forced me to get it, and I'm enjoying Think and
Grow Rich.
Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. It's a bit old-fashioned.
No, it's my old-time favorite. Yeah. You should actually get the 1929 version.
Oh, really?
Still. It's absolutely brilliant.
And I think I'm page 147 now.
Okay. Do you think reading is dying?
It's done.
It's dying.
It's dying. Yes. I mean, I'm a bit old-fashioned. I like to go to the bookshop and read, smell the book, right? But I think because we've gotten short attention span, we are not reading, and we're not self-educating ourselves, which is detrimental to our growth as human species.
Yeah. It's the only activity you can't do two things at once.
Yeah.
You know, when you're watching a movie, you can watch a movie and then have a second screen experience.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Yeah. You can do social media and do something else. You can't do that when you're reading. Before I let you go, I asked this of every guest, and you're sort of paying it forward to the next person or the people watching. What idea have you had that you've not had the time to execute
on? Setting up our investment company.
Say more.
So the plan is to have, we've now created this group structure, right?
Okay.
The plan is to have a completely investment wing that invests in advertising assets around the continent. And share our expertise in these things.
Okay.
It's been something that I birthed 2.5, 3 years ago, and I haven't been able to execute it. And it's not because of procrastination. I think there is largely because for 4 years, we had ideas on this Martech space,
right.
and slowly but surely, we've now finessed it. Okay. So we think there is an opportunity to now fast track this investment business, and only in advertising assets across the continent. And it's for two reasons. Firstly, because of commercial reasons, financially, but secondly, is to share in our knowledge, in our expertise on the continent, and get some return back. So it's our way, personally, it's my way of paying back to a continent that we were born in,
yes,
that we live in, that we love so much, And that is the only way we can transform this continent. It's not about the Hive Group doing so well,
Right.
and not sharing it across. And that is why we are working exceptionally hard to expand onto other parts of the continent. That we do business with you first, and then we take a bit of equity.
Okay.
And it goes into the investment kitty.
Okay. What do you mean by advertising assets?
So it could be advertising companies, it could be
Billboards, that
billboards
sort of stuff.
yeah.
That sort of stuff. Okay. I started this podcast because I want to speak to the best of us. And you truly represent the best of us. When I said in my intro that you are, you have inspirational tenacity, I really meant that. And thank you. I know you have a date. I am not going to ruin your your time. We're going to have to do round two.
I gave you a warning.
We're going to have to do round two.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming on to the
No, thank you. Thank you very
platform.
much for the time. And hopefully we use this opportunity to inspire more Africans.
Absolutely. If you've gotten to this point of the interview, thank you for watching the Winners Win podcast. Please do the right thing. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Winners Win. It's a wrap.